Welcome back to this devious episode when Charlie learned Emma was CIA in the Company You Keep Season 1 Episode 4. Things unquestionably altered for him. Although for Charlie it looked to be the motivation, he didn't realize he needed to give up his life of crime. It wasn't a deal breaker. Of course, that didn't happen. But Charlie was ready to leave the con men behind and become the bar owner and Emma Hill's boyfriend. While he did accept Emma for who she was, he wasn't ready to be completely honest with her. He wasn't prepared to inform his parents about Emma either. One guy can only hold so many secrets before deciding to finally choose honesty. But it seemed to have come too late as he was drawn more and deeper into Daphne's devious designs. Charlie left the previous night's automobile at a junkyard to be destroyed. He overhears Emma going after it as they are eating breakfast and wants to get it taken care of quickly. But before it can be fixed, Emma arrives, so the owner of the junkyard invites Charlie to come provide a hand. Before Emma can intervene, he arrives and manages to change the plate. The CIA looks in El Paso rather than Baltimore because of the plate he puts on. In order to capture Connor, Emma is asked to lead the operation that is being launched there. Daphne was never going to surrender easily. You could tell she was a woman who wouldn't give in to anyone the moment she appeared on television, especially not for her unstable, dim-witted brother. Daphne was prepared to regain leadership of the family empire once more, but she was aware that in order to do so, she would need to win back the hesitant allies Connor had cost her. Yet because she was under so much pressure, she turned to blackmail for a temporary escape. Fortunately, she can pull it off with the assistance of a skilled family of con artists who are on rapid dial. I was aware that Charlie and his companions would not be able to elude Daphne. She is far too shrewd and resourceful to permit it to take place. Yet, she approached the situation from an intriguing and straightforward angle. If you don't want my gun-toting brother to kill you, you'll continue working for me and earning that money back. Charlie has no reason to call her bluff because Connor nearly killed him when he ambushed him. Nevertheless, in contrast to the other cons, when they were specifically after money, this time they were after a book, the purpose of which they were not entirely certain. Leo was worried that Birdie may deviate from the plan. But he should be aware at this point that Birdie is capable of holding her own. She is experienced in this and is capable of caring for herself. She raised Baylor's suspicions, but she was in the car for long enough to provide them with the smoking gun. I wished Professor Leo had been around more because he was the real deal. He had the guards, as well as anybody nearby, eating out of the palm of his hand since he knew what he was talking about. I was actually surprised that Charlie and Birdie didn't seem to consider Baylor having an alert when the locker was open or some other kind of security that would have accounted for someone touching his items. Their actions of breaking into the locker and stealing the microfiche felt far too good to be true. A man would have a failsafe if someone got too close if you went to that much trouble to keep something secret. The Nicoltes successfully pull off their heists most of the time without having to face too much risk. They get away without a hitch and without setting off any fireworks because they are thorough and effective. This was Birdie's chance to shine, which she accomplished once more by retrieving information about the dean's wife to save her father and Charlie. In classic Charlie fashion, Charlie spins a fascinating tale to persuade Baylor to bite. But if Birdie doesn't use her abilities to get him what he wants, it won't happen. There is a simmering conflict between David and Jennifer. Their conversation following his little cooking demonstration was delightful. Nonetheless, Jennifer had better not be portraying David because he is charming and doesn't merit any unfavorable treatment. At all costs, keep David Hill safe. Claire Fox will eventually commit a bad deed based on the way Joseph keeps talking about her. Although Daphne will be well positioned once she obtains that book, it comes as a true amazement that she hasn't made the connection between Charlie and Emma, given that the latter frequently frequents that establishment. The relationship between Charlie and Emma fluctuates during the hour. Seeing them act nice and domestic over coffee and crossword puzzles to witnessing Charlie play her for a fool at the junkyard was a true roller coaster journey. He must have been staying at a hotel near the junkyard because he entered it in record time and knew just where to go. For a few seconds they called him Charlie Lucky Nicolte. However, he ends up transporting the plates to Mexico, which causes Emma's promotion and subsequent move to be set into motion. Charlie and Emma have developed feelings for one another, but Emma has lowered her guard in a way that seems unusual to her. She's fallen in love with Charlie and the way he makes her feel, and it must have been terrible for her to be so vulnerable by asking him to Mexico. And because of this, she ran away before Charlie could give an explanation. If you don't want to declare your love for the other person back, there is no simple way to have that talk. There isn't much you can say to comfort someone or soften the shock. Emma perceives it as rejection in its most basic form. Even though Charlie loves her, he was unable to harm her anymore at that particular time after undermining her investigation earlier in the day. He didn't appear ready to tell her the truth yet, but if he did, he wouldn't allow their connection to continue and expose her to further suffering. I can see where he was coming from, but Charlie has been acting so erratically with Emma for the past 2 hours that using that time to finally make a choice felt so cruel. Although Emma caught him off surprise and forced him to make a difficult choice, the fact that that was the turning point in his decision to end his relationship with her was simply so heartbreaking. Emma's eyes lost all of their hope, and her spirit began to dwindle. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more interesting series review at the Bullseye Movies.